Hello, MPS. It's your girl, Renice Washington, aka Wellness Queen. This week, we're keeping it short and simple by talking about the power of and how flexible thinking can really serve our mental health and support our well being. Let's get into it. Now, before we get into the benefits and what is flexible thinking, I think it's important to distinguish what the opposite of that is, right? And so a lot of us can find ourselves in black or white thinking. It has to be this or that thinking. And really, it's a binary type of thinking, right? That really doesn't leave many options. That type of cognitive distortion really kind of manipulates our perspective of situations, right? Because if we can only be this or that, it doesn't leave us many options in case this or that are not practical, in case this or that are harmful. There really isn't much flexibility if something can only be black or white. And so it's important to note that flexible thinking notes similar to Marvel in the multiverse, right? So it could be this, and that. There are many possibilities. There are worlds where two truths exist. There are worlds where three truths exist, and there are a world where no truths exist, and some things are just as they are. It's important to note the difference between when we find ourselves implementing and finding normalcy and cognitive distortions versus making room and options for the way that we think. And so let's talk about some scenarios where and is helpful, right? Once again, remember, binary thinking is it has to be this or this. Flexible thinking really allows us to see the and in situations. So let's say you recently got a performance evaluation from your evaluator that wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad either. So you are feeling anxious. For most people, if it's not complete praise, one might just go, well, if it's not complete praise, then I suck completely. But the power of and tells us, I am feeling anxious about this evaluation because I care about my job, and any work that I need to improve on can be done. I have the capacity to do it. This doesn't define me or mean that this is the limits of my capacity, right? So it's important, once again, to note the power of and. Similarly, if you are interacting with a staff member and let's say it goes wrong, and so you write that person off as a jerk. In binary thinking, that person will always be a jerk in your story forever, no matter how you interact with them. But there also is the power of and, in which this person did not treat me in the best way, and they could be going through something which makes them interact in this way. That does not mean it is your responsibility, doesn't mean it is your fault, but there is a world where people show up in a certain way and are impacted by different life experience and environmental circumstances, right? So I really encourage you this week to think about places in your life where perhaps it's a bit more binary. It only is this if this happens. A only equals B. And also take a look at where there are opportunities to maybe flip that binary to make it more flexible. I am doing the best I can, and in certain areas I need to tighten up. So let me go ahead and do that. There's a world up. I love my students. They are everything. And I am feeling a bit impatient due to my own lack of self-regulation. How is that showing up in the classroom? Okay, so get into the power of and get flexible, baby. It's been Wellness Queen.